So hello everyone, welcome to this video in which we will be moving forward to our backend, in which I'll tell you how you can create the backend server in Node.js and Express. So in the last video we actually created this title and the set title state, and we assigned them to the fields. I've also created the handlers and the states for the other two fields. I told you to do that. That was your homework. I hope you managed to do that. So I actually did that. Now our form is able to get all the values from the fields. We just need to create one button here that will be like allowing us to send the data to the backend. So if we click on that button, so that will send all the data which is entered inside these fields to the backend. So let's create that button here, and then we'll be moving forward to our backend. So for that, I'll be using uh, a normal input type button or input type submit. I can write here. Also, I can give it a primary class name. For example, primary button, and it is a self-closing tag. I can give the styling of primary button in the global file, or like I can give it to like in home.css as well, but let's give it in the global file. So if I try to use this button again, so I can use that. So for that, actually we need to first of all we need to give it a padding. For example, 10 pixel, a background color. Let's say it should be a blue background color, not this blue, but a different blue. Yeah, I think this one is fine. And I can also give it a text color. I can give it a color white, and I can give border none and a margin of 10 pixel. So let's see what happens now. Also in input type text, I haven't added the value, otherwise we'll not be able to get the like text on the button. So let's say we add submit here. You see that submit query is actually written there, but now we have added value, so it will get updated. So that was the default text that it gave to us. So after the compilation, I think that will work. And I can also make all this form into center if I want. So let's do that. So it was in home.css. So I can give it a border first, so we can get the idea. Border 1 pixel solid black, or a little bit lighter black. And I can give it a margin left auto, margin right auto, and a I can also make it a display block. Width can also be set here. For example, 500, or let's say 50%. I think that will be good. You see that it is in center now. I can also add a text align center if I want, or let's say leave it like this, and I can make the width of the form controls or the input fields to be 100%. Oh, sorry. So it is 100%. So this 100% will take up the all space, but that's not good. I think I should give it 90%. Yeah, that's it. So now it is cool. So I can now make this submit button active. So I can attach a function to it so that we can actually get the values of all the state. So I can add on click, or I can add a, let's add a on click here. I could also add on submit function on the form if I want. So let's add handle submit. Let's create this function in which we will be making query to our backend, but backend is not yet created. So we'll just be logging out all the state values first. So let's console log of, also we get the E in this input. And for not refreshing the page, like if I click on that button, it will get reloaded or the page will be refreshed. It is a default behavior, so we'll be preventing that by adding e dot prevent default. Okay, so this is it. Now I can add a console dot log in which I can first of all set the data. Let's set the data. Title should be title, category should be category, or I can use ES6 version of this as well, but let's do this way. Description, yeah. Now I can log this data which we'll be actually sending to the backend. So if I save this and if I go to my console, so let's remove all the other things. So if I write something here, for example, coding tips, and the category, for example, technology, and some description, for example, this, you should always use comments, for example. If I click on this submit button, you can see that something is logged out. This something is actually our data object which we created here, and that is actually logging out. So this is how we created the submit handler, and now we can also send this data to the backend or any backend which we'll be creating. So you also saw that this form is not reloaded. So if I remove this line of code, you see here. So if I remove this and save this file, so it will actually reload the page because it is a default behavior of a form that it gets reloaded whenever a submit button is clicked. So if I click now, you see that. So it is actually reloading that. So we don't want that behavior. That's why we added that e dot prevent default. So this was it for this video. In the next video, we'll be talking about how you can create the backend actually. So for now, let's do this thing for the front end. And in the next video, we'll be creating the backend. So thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.